Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hi there, this is Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. Today is our episode number 53, and this is Joanne, and my sidekick here is Kelly. We have an amazing guest today, Gray Malin, who is a fine art photographer, and you may not realize that you know him. We know Gray from holding his camera out of a helicopter and shooting the world's most exotic beach locations all over the world. And you will probably have seen these bird's eye views of colorful umbrellas, towels, and sunbathing bodies.
You may know his first book. It's entitled Beaches, which came out in 2016, and it showcases this iconic beach photography that Joanne's talking about. And it's a gorgeous coffee table book. So you know how we always tell you guys that one of our favorite ways to accessorize is stacks and stacks of beautiful coffee table books. Well, Gray's is one of them. He has photographed every location imaginable: Saint-Tropez, France, Capri, Italy, Australia, Rio de Janeiro, Antarctica, Dubai. I mean, it's like ridiculous. So,
okay. So you know that my heart is in Italy. And so his newest book is entitled Italy. And it is available, actually just became available yesterday, all over the internet on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And then there's also available a collector's edition, which is a signed limited edition that you can get off of his website, which is graymalin.com. It's GRAYMALIN.com.
This is so awesome. So when we first met Gray, when we were at the Southern Sea, and he spoke and kind of told his story, and we were like, okay, he's so cute and he's so nice and he's so cool, and we were already obsessed. But then literally just a few weeks ago, we were walking through Atlanta's America's Mart, and we see our friend Kate Lester, who is a designer in California that we hadn't seen in forever, and we go absolutely ballistic, like, ah! And then right next to her is Gray, and we're like, wait, what? Oh, how do you guys know each other? What's going on? And Kate is working with Gray on his summer home in Michigan. And he was there with all of his new goodies. So we reconnected, and this is how this all came to be. So welcome, Gray. That was like the longest introduction known to man.
I was going to say, everybody's probably going, is the guy coming on, or what's? Be quiet, girls.
Oh, my God.
All right, Gray. So go ahead. Just tell us about
Kelly.
yourself.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you for having me. Well, I am a photographer, and I started just like a lot of people in high school, and I did darkroom black and white photography, and it was like kind of an obsession, and I had no idea that it could be something so much bigger and relevant in my life. And I went to college and pursued a minor in photography while gaining a marketing degree in communications. And when I graduated, I went into corporate America, and I wasn't happy, and I just had this gut feeling that I needed to give photography a chance, even though I didn't know how or what to do. And there was this little Sunday market in West Hollywood. It's a flea market, and I would go there like twice a month to look for goodies. And a light bulb went off one day, and I just thought, wow, maybe I should open a little booth here and sell some of my darkroom photography. And I got a spot, and I just talked to fun Angelinos walking around on a Sunday with their coffee and their kids, and I just learned, I guess, firsthand how and what people wanted design-wise in their homes. And it sort of sparked this idea of making photography that was fine art, but was also very joyful and very much comfortable, something people could relate to. And from the flea market, I was able to produce a series in my home state of Texas, and it was shot at a little Prada art installation in Marfa, Texas, and it was very humorous, and it really gave way to me finding my way to the internet, which is where I eventually was able to launch graymalin.com and move from just being able to sell my artwork in the market to being able to sell it to people all over the country and ultimately the world.
That shoot, that Marfa photo, what year was that?
Oh gosh, I think that was 2010.
So I think if people Google like Gray Malin, Marfa, Prada, it'll come up, and you'll see from the beginning that I think your vantage point or how you saw things through the lens as fine art was definitely unique.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about that
jump
shoot.
off.
But how do you go, Gray, from having it be your minor and being at the antique market and, to practically falling out of a helicopter over Antarctica? I mean, what? How do you do that?
Well,
like what?
Gosh.
How did you get up in the helicopter? Like, how did that even happen?
Okay.
Like the first time?
It's a good story. It takes me a minute to tell it, but bear with me.
Okay. Go for it.
I had basically launched this really successful Prada Marfa series. It got me out there, and I just thought, oh my God, I can't be a one-hit wonder. I've got to come up with the next thing. And I, just like every young person in LA, wanted to do the drive to Las Vegas with my friends. And we did it one Friday, and bad traffic, got there really late, went to bed, woke up, and I pulled back the blinds in the morning. We just happened to have a room that was like 30 stories up above the world's biggest swimming pool, it felt like. And it just was so fun and so colorful. It sparked something in me, and I grabbed my camera, which I had, and I took a photo from the hotel room looking down on the pool. And when I got back to LA, I made it my desktop screensaver. And for like 6 months, I looked at this image, and then one day the light bulb like exploded, and I thought, wow, I love this perspective. Why don't I create imagery like this? And, I could look at this all day. Maybe other people would feel the same. And it led me to Miami, which every December is basically an art festival in Art Basel. And it was foolish of me to think, but I basically went to various hotels who had these beautiful Art Deco type swimming pools and asked if I could go up on their roof or on a high balcony and take a photograph of their pools. They literally were like, scram, kid, like, we're busy. And I just thought, okay, what do I do? And I Googled helicopters, Miami, and I'd never been in a helicopter. I'd no idea really what it entailed, but the man who answered the phone, he was not only a pilot, but he also dabbled in photography. So he was like, happy to take you up. We're going to remove the door from the aircraft, and you're going to sit and you can spin and sort of lean out, and I'll control it. I just thought, that's crazy. I'm coming.
Did you have a leash on?
A couple hours.
Are you tied in?
You can put a little harness on for safety, yes. But ultimately, it's kind of crazy. And seriously, I really went over. I got up in the air. It was amazing to be up there. And unfortunately, this little storm cell blew in off the Atlantic. And my gosh, South Beach, all the hotels, no one was by the pool. It was kind of gray and eerie. And I just was looking down trying to get the shot, and I just felt defeated, kind of. It was like, maybe this isn't my thing. And I looked up from my lens, and I saw this massive sprawling beach just right there. And it didn't really click until that moment where I looked up and I saw the beach umbrellas and the chaise lounge chairs. And I said to the pilot, do you mind if we fly over there? And we did. And that's where it all started. Like, I just saw the pattern. I saw the repetition of basically the umbrellas. And as we flew along I could really only afford to fly for a certain amount of time. So we only had like minutes left. I shot like maybe 25 images along the beach. And when I got back to Los Angeles, and there weren't any people in the mine because of the rain, but it was so beautiful and interesting. I shared it with a mentor of mine, and she was like, "Gray, you should really go after this." And I did, and I booked a flight to Hawaii, to Australia. I basically put all my savings into getting to as many locations as I could. And by like April, that was December with Miami, to like April, I think I had shot in like 5 different global places. So it was like a real adventure, like a passion that just came over me. And it then became like an identity for my career. And then it gave way to my first book, Beaches, which became a New York Times bestseller. And against all odds of when you're young and you're trying to publish a book, you know, people just scoff at you a little bit, like, good luck. You know, it's like people who want to make an album, or any artist who wants to. So it just was, it's a really crazy story, but that's how it all happened.
Well, it's on my coffee table. So, you know, and it's one of the first books that I gave my kids for Christmas as they were going through high school and college, because I wanted them to start collecting these kind of things and have appreciation for it. So they both have one. So
from all these locations, what was your favorite one?
The most wild in America was Chicago. Just, I happened to be up on like a really hot day in July, and I mean, beaches packed like you couldn't imagine for Chicago. And then you look at Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and my gosh, there's not like more than 12 inches between people on the beach. They pack it in. And also the funny thing about shooting in international locations is you have like the Rio de Janeiro shoot. I had to have a translator in the helicopter with me so I could communicate with the pilot. You know, when you go up, you're actually directing the pilot on how you want them to, you know, where you want them to fly, you know, ultimately how high, how low, turning for angles, etc. So it's comical when you're in some of the foreign destinations, like Dubai was crazy. I mean, I had to apply for government paperwork to get in the airspace there. It was crazy.
This is so fascinating. I know
I could talk to you for days.
And I know it's so funny because a lot of times you'll see these beach photos, and I feel like anytime I see an umbrella, I think of you. I mean, it has become this like it's like your thing. Yeah.
I feel like it just became like a design trend. I mean, I kind of was there at the forefront of it, but then now
you started it.
I can go into Target, or there's so many other wonderful photographers, and drones and all this, but like it's wild that it became this design forward trend and like went, you know, all over. And it's been fun to sort of live through that trend and then move on to the next.
Well, what's so crazy is now not only has this just become like this photography, but like you are like a lifestyle brand. Like you've got beach towels, iPhone cases, like wallpaper, gift wrap. We have to tell you something funny. Our producer who's on the line with us just sent me a text and says he has awesome gift wrap.
He's like, dang, they just busted me.
Oh, man.
So you probably don't know that Joanne and I are obsessed with Italy. And of course, Joanna's from Italy and our family's all there. And so, of course, this is why I had to get it for her birthday and pre-order. But so how long does it take you to produce a book, first of all?
Gosh, good question. Italy was 6 years of shooting basically every summer. Yeah, every summer I would go for a month. And when I say go to Italy for a month, it's not like I'm on a yacht. I'm literally in a rental car, basically driving across the country, you know, east to west, west to east, north to south, trying to kind of, through the powers of research online and tips from friends and even, you know, Google Earth, to beaches that I found very interesting. So it was a real like passion. I mean, there are some areas of Italy I would walk like 5 miles of beach just with my camera and a ladder to find a shot. And so it's been a journey. And then we finished the book, I think last June. It was sent, like the final was sent to the publisher, and then through the fall you go through like color proofing, and then it was released probably, I would imagine, early January, and it comes out yesterday.
So are you promoting them? You're going on tour, right? Kind of. I mean, like,
yes.
Are you going to be at Serena and Lily's always, or bookstores, or? Yes,
we're going to 14 locations. I think 9 of which are Serena and Lily's, and then 3 are Italy, which is like a gourmet market, and then a couple of smaller stores in like Washington, D.C. and in Houston.
So can people find these on your website, the locations where they can come see you and get your book?
They sure can. Or our Instagram at Gray Malin. There's a book tour highlight story you can click on.
How fun.
And your Instagram is so great.
All right, before we run out of time, I've got to talk to you about this Bermuda thing. We are obsessed with this series and how you capture this jet set lifestyle of the 50s and 60s. So tell us, tell our listeners a little bit about this shoot and like what it involved with the props and the models and all that thing.
Yes. So I became really inspired by my grandparents. They've passed, but they left like 30 incredible photo albums of basically their life's travels, and they were quite glamorous. And every summer, we don't have a TV at our family home on Lake Michigan, so we really sit around and play cards and look through these albums and talk and have cocktails. And so
what a novel idea.
I just thought this time period is so glamorous, and how can I recreate this? And we shot a series with a synchronized swimming group named the Aqua Lilies, and I dressed them in sort of vintage type bathing swimwear, and it just sort of gave birth to continuing this into, maybe a larger lifestyle. And through a family friend, I was connected to Bermuda, and ultimately it was really fun. We went through a sort of a local casting in Bermuda and hired, basically normal-ish looking, like not models, but just people who looked sort of au natural and could be sort of timeless. And we also had to basically dig through prop houses here in LA for clothing from the 60s and jewelry and sunglasses and shoes and golf clubs and tennis rackets and luggage. And
this was a movie production. Yeah. You could be a film director.
Like, for people to see this, where can they look at this stuff? Because I saw it on Instagram, I think, but where can someone go and look at this?
Yeah, we have, I think, like 21 or 24, I have to remember, 24 different photography series on graymalin.com under photography, under series, and they're there, and you can kind of explore and get lost in a whole world of photography.
I have.
But
yeah. People, go check out this Bermuda. I mean, it's all great. This Bermuda thing is just really so unique.
And I mean, you think about like photography, and I think about like the Annie Leibowitzes of the world, or the interior design photography that we're used to, and this is totally different. You have a lot of art direction going on, a lot of super weird, crazy creativity, and it's a no wonder that it's considered fine art, because it truly is a phenomenon of its own.
Yeah, it's just like looking. It's just like art, because when when I look at your photos and I see those people on the beach, and it takes you. It almost takes you there. Which is
I think for
cool.
sure it does. Yeah.
And this Bermuda thing, I don't know. This just makes me. It just makes me smile. It just feels so vintage. But the fact that it was just done, recently, just makes it even all the more cool.
Do you have a filter on it or something that makes it look old?
Yeah, I like to play.
How did you shoot that? That it's kind of like.
I like to play a little bit with the. I do like to play a little bit when you look at sort of older film. In color film specifically, what happens when you apply a little bit of that feeling? It's sort of adding a little nostalgia, which is nice. And we just actually shot a new series. It'll come out in October at the Breakers Palm Beach and also in and around Palm Beach. And it's got a very similar nostalgia feel, which I'm really excited about. So we're continuing to pursue this type of photography. And I think Bermuda was sort of the beginning. And I'm just really thrilled for the next chapter with it.
That is so great.
You probably just keep coming up with them and coming up, because that's a lot of work. You've done a lot of work in this amount of time.
Well, I have a great
Now,
team.
But if you love it,
yeah.
if you love it.
Now, so the real question is, you have 2 chubby, yummy, delicious twins. And I want to know how you and your hubby are keeping this crazy pace with these
Adorable.
Chubba-wubbas.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like, can you still go, traipsing 5 miles on a beach with a ladder and your camera when you have these babies? Or, like, how do you do it?
Gosh, it's a great question. I don't know, because I think the same about all these other wonderful parents out there. How did they all do it? And I'm like, if they can do it, we can do it. And it's just, to be honest with you, it's a lot of planning. I mean, I've never planned. I have my life planned out basically until like October right now. And just before the kids, it was easier just to do things here and there. But now I really have to, calendar it out. And the kids are doing so well. They're actively, I'd say, changing every week quite dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
It's so true when they're
How
that
old
little.
are they now? Are they just 5
They're
months?
they're 5 months and 1 week old, so they're
my
little,
God.
and they're just, both of them are able to grab, reach out and grab things, and they're basically on the verge of rolling over. It's happened in the nighttime because they rolled over in their crib, but we weren't there. But we'll see it in the next couple days, which is great.
A lot of people say that when they have kids or they become parents, that they actually become like more creative because all their senses are heightened, with this new change in life. And do you think that having this little family will affect your work?
I'm sure it will. I feel like I've set myself up nicely in that we have an incredible team of people who work at Gray Malin, and with enough planning, you can accomplish, a lot. And if you utilize your team really well and everybody's on the same page, that is probably the real reason that it's all working. When you ask, like, how do you do it? It's like, because I've got a great team of people and staff, and also, the twins are, I don't know what it's going to be like when they start crawling. We'll see. But for now, they.
Oh, let us tell you a few stories.
Well, the reason you probably have such a great team is because you're such a nice person. You are just
normal.
A good. Yeah, you're a good soul.
You're a good dog, as my grandma would say.
Yeah. I wish we could talk to you for so much longer, but we're coming up on our time here, and so we always end our podcast with a funny quote and a inspirational quote. But before we do that, let's go ahead and give you all of Gray's social media channels.
It's really hard.
Yeah, actually, they are all the same. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest are all at Gray Malin, GRAYMALIN. It's pure eye candy, you guys.
It really is.
You've got to check it out.
I love the Instagram pictures and the stories. Yeah. Just so fun watching you and your adventures, and you and your family and your husband, and you guys are just awesome.
We launched a second Instagram, the at Gray Malin personal, just at Gray Malin and then the word personal, just so it's a little bit more behind the scenes if you're into that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were allowed to share that or not, but that's where you can see
fine.
all the chubby, delicious baby pictures.
Yay.
You know what? I'm obsessed with.
What's so funny is both of these quotes totally relate to Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't go anywhere. We gotta
listen
inspire our listeners.
Okay, so I think they both do. Like this inspirational one, this is so true. So this is from Jeff Bezos, the Amazon man.
Yeah.
One of the huge mistakes people make is that they try to force an interest onto themselves. You don't choose your passions choose you.
See? That's
See?
what happened to Gray.
See?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a
Now
great
this
quote.
this has to do with Gray and the twins.
Okay. Here's our funny quote, everybody. Ready? Mother to kids, you is smart, you is kind, you is important, you is too loud, you is aging me, you is expensive.
Oh man.
We used to change that to father to kids because that's
Yes.
what Greg will be saying at some point.
Yeah.
Like, you're not cute anymore, you are aging me.
You want an iPhone at 5 years old? You is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gray, I think that we are in High Point. That on the date that you are at Serena and Lily in Atlanta. Did we figure
We're
that
not
out?
in High Point. We are. Oh yes, we are.
Yeah, we have that special event we're
We
going
have a
to.
designer experience there.
It's
yes.
a off.
Oh,
It's not High
fun.
Point Market. It's a different one. So we're going to miss you. So we need to either catch you in a different state or entice you to come back to Atlanta so we can
Yeah.
all be together again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or
next
we
time.
could come to California. I mean, or we could come to the new summer house in Michigan. I guess we could do that.
There are options.
But-
There are options.
Yeah, there's options. There's options. But we just adore you and we wish you all the best with your new tour and your new book, Italy. And we just want all of our listeners, if you are not already aware of Gray's Fine Art, that you have got to go investigate and have a piece in your home because it's really special stuff.
Yep, it really is.
Aw,
So.
thank you for having me.
Thanks, Gray.
Thanks, Gray. We really love you and so glad you came on. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening and hanging out with us. And we'll catch you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak Cole. And of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.